And you are listening and watching the Midnight Mike Show, courtesy of WLW Studios and WLWstudios.com. I hope you can hear me okay. I hope you can see me okay. And pretty soon, we are going to be watching together 1934's March of the Wooden Soldiers. I was originally going to say Babes in Toyland because that's the original title, but most of us in the United States know it as March of the Wooden Soldiers. As a matter of fact, here's my VHS that I have. This is, of course, the colorized version. But this was a tradition every year, and I will get into that. But most of you know, I'm hoping most of you who are watching know, and some of you who are new to this will now learn that my main show, The Midnight Jury, is coming up to its 9th anniversary special, and all of our shows are available at WLWstudios.com for download, or you can also go over to all of your major podcast platforms on the Shining Wizards Network, SWN, and you can get The Midnight Jury there, and that means iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, and all of those other major podcast platforms. Like I said, of course, the Midnight Mike Show, which you're seeing broadcast live right now, is usually just simply a YouTube channel, and you can find me on Twitter, Twitch. We're also streaming live on Twitch, I hope, and I'll talk about that in a second. Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube at Midnight Mike Show. I wanted to make sure that I got all of that in for you. So please go over to Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube and search Midnight Mike Show. That's MIDNITE Mike Show, like the old Starlight Diner or the old Midnight Bolorama with that special spelling. As a matter of fact, you can see it down here on the screen. Oh no, you'll be able to see it eventually. It scrolls by, it'll show up on the bottom of the screen, all of that. But like I said, tonight we're going to be watching together 1934's March of the Wooden Soldiers. I have some fun facts throughout the film for you that I looked up. And we're trying a lot of new live options as of late because we're testing out the capabilities of something I've seen many people use before, and they seem to have great success with it, and it is StreamYard. So let's see what this can do. This is my next test. Our first test of course was Calvin Brody and myself this past Saturday night. And we went live on Facebook and YouTube and did about an hour of the Midnight Jury because we were having computer issues, and things seem to have leveled out. We've got the main computer back. I haven't lost anything. Hopefully it stays that way. I have 2 other computers going now, so we are hopefully set to do bigger and better things, which is why we're doing this. I'm testing out these capabilities. Why not? And of course, you guys can also comment down below. If you're watching this, go ahead and comment down below. Tell me what you think of the movie. Tell me what you thought of a recent Midnight Jury. Whatever it is, comment down below and I can be able to read it, and that'll also be fun. But the reason I'm trying out Twitch, I brought that up, is one thing that whenever I talked about the Midnight Jury or any podcasts or YouTube I do, my brother, who passed 2 years ago, December, the one thing he always told me, and he was about 10 years younger than me. He always talked about Twitch, and I thought, oh, that must be, a new thing. That must be a hip thing to be on Twitch because, my little brother knows about it and things like that. But now I think there's even more when you get 10 years younger than that and you start having, TikTok and stuff like that. I don't do TikTok. But I'm trying out Twitch, and in honor of my brother Richard, this episode, of course, will be dedicated to him. I miss you so much, and so why not try it out? We'll see how it works. If it works out well and we end up making a bunch of money on Twitch, right now, I mean, it's a nothing. I want you to go over and just subscribe to my Twitch channel. It's there. This is my first video. But like I said, comment down below throughout the film. Anything that I'm talking about, you can comment, and I'll hopefully be able to see that. That's another interactive thing with this new live stuff we're doing. But anyway, another reason why and now the last thing I will say before we get to the film, we are about to start the film, is that the reason I'm doing this is because leading up to Thanksgiving, this was always a family tradition for me and my mom and my family, because it's been played on Thanksgiving Day or a day before Thanksgiving or whatever since she was a child. Back in 1910. I'm just kidding. But since my mom was a child, they always played this around or on Thanksgiving, and usually on WPIX in the New York area. That was channel 11, I believe. Now it's been so long that I don't remember, and I lived in Philly and I live in Connecticut and all this stuff. But anyway, this was always a Thanksgiving tradition for my family. So I figured, why not do March of the Wooden Soldiers. Originally, when I was doing it, it's such an old film that I thought it actually would be there's no royalties involved. It's free domain, whatever. And I don't think it is. I think people kept buying that up. But hopefully, the way I talk about it and the way I show the film in different spots, moving around the screen, things like that, hopefully it will be considered transformative content. I believe it is. It's just me commenting on the film, giving you some facts on the film while we watch it. And of course, if you have anything to say or you have facts of your own, comment down below. All right, let's get started. This is going to be 1934, March of the Wooden Soldiers, originally named Babes in Toyland, but in the United States, it was March of the Wooden Soldiers. All right, MGM, baby. And that's actually MGM, man. That goes back so far, obviously, because of this. But of course, that was the original name of Disney Studios or Hollywood Studios or anything like that. It was MGM Studios, and they owned all those MGM likenesses or brands, which I believe Wizard of Oz, Alien. I mean, everything on the Great Movie Ride, As a matter of fact, I do have, you know what? I'll go with my first fact. And the one thing I would give StreamYard is I wish they had like sound effects you could put up. Maybe they do, and I just don't know how to do it yet. But I wish they had sound effects you could put up. So when I put up like a fact, it would do like pop-up video. It'd go boom or something like that. That'd be cool. There you go. The original Babes in Toyland, originally Babes in Toyland. This film was finally colorized in 1991. Now, the original colorized version, and I will show you this. The original colorized version that I have, this didn't come out in 1991, and when you actually watch it, which I watched some of it today, the black and white is just way more crisp. It's much more, I don't know. I think it looks, I prefer black and white films that were originally released in black and white to stay in black and white. So there you go, 1991. Silas Barnaby. I'll tell you right now, that dude, that is a heel for the ages. When I was a kid, he scared the crap out of me. As I get older, you could just tell he was a stage actor. As a matter of fact, a lot of these people were stage actors, obviously, because at the time, being in a film, was more rare. But the way they act, they always act like they're on a stage and they're acting. And there you go. The real stars of the film. Laurel and Hardy, who of course are playing Stanny Dumb and Ollie D. So are they not married, or are they not brothers? They're married? They're not married. They don't share a name or hyphenated names. Interesting. So I originally, as a kid, I just assumed they were brothers. Here they are with different last names, sleeping in the same bed. Little but they were so funny. There you go. Laurel and Hardy performed as a team in 107 films, which included 23 full-length feature films. All those kids running off to school. You know how school sucks in the real world? If you lived in Toyland, I feel like school would suck even more. There you go. Another fact. Bloop. Several of the R Gang, the Little Rascals, were cast, were uncredited extras as the school children running all over the place. Because this movie was, of course, made and produced by Hal Roach, who also did the Little Rascals. I think this is the first time you get a Barnaby. She is beautiful. I'll tell you what, as a kid, I completely had a crush on her. She's a beautiful, beautiful girl. I mean, 100%. And actually, she, what is her name? Charlotte Henry. Charlotte Henry was also famous for playing Alice a year prior in 1933's Alice in Wonderland.
How do you do, my dear Miss P?
How do you do, Mr. Barnaby?
And how is your charming daughter, Miss Opie?
Very well, thank you.
Then, may I be permitted to pay my respects?
Sorry.
He is such a heel.
Out tending her sheep.
Your tender loveliness. In short, I'm asking you to become my wife.
I'm sorry, Mr. Barnaby, and I hope you won't think me ungrateful, but...
I'm a very rich man, my dear.
Ugh,
Please.
what a scumbag.
Think carefully, child. Lest I resort
Remember,
to
folks, if
other
you're watching, you can comment down
That
below
would
on
be an
Facebook or
ugly
Twitch,
way to win a
and
pretty wife.
hopefully I'll get to your
I wouldn't
comments and
marry
things
you
like that.
if you were young, which you can't be. If you were honest, which you never were.
Ooh.
And if you were about to die tomorrow, which you went to hope for.
Pew, pew,
Like a little
pew!
buttercup. And then you will sing to a different...
That's the acting I'm talking about. Acting!
Don't you get your lunch, Harley?
What's the matter, Mother Pete?
I've got bad news for you.
Bad news?
I'm afraid you boys will have to find some other place to live.
Well, what do you mean?
An old skin-flame Barnaby holds a mortgage against
This is not...
you.
She's acting like he's a bad guy for this. He's not. He's collecting his rent.
Stanley?
Like
Go
he...
upstairs to get my money box.
This crying and stuff should have been
Go get
because
my
Bo
money
Peep
box.
turned him down and he like smacked her in the face with his cane. She went down, came back
I'm going
crying
give you
to Mother
all of
Peep
my
and
savings.
him
I'll
about
get
like
the
the
rest of
black
it from
eye.
our master, the toy maker.
Then
No
he's a
one's
piece
going
of
to
garbage.
throw you out of this shit.
Right here, they're just she probably hasn't paid rent in months. And
One
Barnaby is
good
like, hey,
friend deserves
like,
another.
this is what I am. I own land. I'm a landlord. Like, I'm not understanding.
That's it. That's it.
Up the heel music. It's like a WWF event. And there it is. He's in this movie. He's credited as Henry Kleinbach, but I believe his stage name became Henry Brandon. And he was only 22 in 1934 when he played the heel Barnaby. Kleinbach's career spanned over 60 years, and he was in over 60 films. That's Jeff. Is that right? We'll check on that. What are the chances? 60 years, 60 films. This part always cracked me up. Why in these old movies do men sing like that? He's not singing like a normal person. Like, what is the matter, little Bo Peep? He's like, what is the matter, little Bo Peep? Like, what is that? You're just, it's like you're closing your throat and your nostrils to make this sound. I'm wondering if this is the part where he says it, but at one point in the film, they say to Bo Peep that she lost her sheep like tons of times, and everyone else goes and finds them. Get her a new job.
I don't know what Mother would do.
It might be here.
Oh, don't worry. They'll be found. You've lost them before, haven't
Right here.
you? As a matter of fact, last month you lost them 5 times.
5 times.
Yes, you did. And 4 times the month before that. You see, you're getting worse. Oh, he'd have
She
to be
needs a new
most
job.
unusual.
Do they have like
Energetic,
she could be maybe a
resourceful,
barista?
and
Maybe
with any
maybe there's
amount
like a
of
coffee
patience.
shop that she could go work at.
Well, sort of,
Something a little easier.
Then I'll just keep you there until you are interested.
But this wouldn't fly in 2021. Oh, you don't want to marry me? You're not interested in me? I'll put you in the shackles here until you are. And no one in town will have a problem with it because you're a terrible sheep herder. But very attractive. Oh, we found your sheep for the 6th time this month. Oh, it's so funny. It's so hilarious that everyone in town has to do your job. And then Barnaby's the bad guy because he wants his rent. Like, come on. Oh, there's those little pigs again. The funny thing is with the pigs, I don't know if you saw it there or if you see it in the first blunt part or in the end when Barnaby's going after him. But the framed pictures in the 3 little pigs' houses of a plate of sausage and a football are labeled mother and father. Here comes heel Barnaby again.
Oh, Mumsy, you're an angel.
And his theme music.
Barnaby, when you enter my house, I'll trouble you to knock.
Oh, once again, a bad guy because he wants his rent.
Did you say you are
Like, get out of
Yes,
here with this.
not until this little bit?
He's like, you owe me thousands in back rent, and now I'm the bad guy because I want you to pay or get out.
This mortgage is paying.
Whereas Ollie D and Stanny Dunn have been found guilty of burglary, they will be ducked and thereafter exiled to Bogeyman.
They will be
forever.
ducked. Why wouldn't they call it dunked? Because all they do is strap him into a chair and dunk him into water, so it's hard to breathe and they choke.
Your Majesty, what are we waiting?
Bogeyland scared the crap out of me as a kid, but I'll tell you what, you look back at it now and it's still cool in like the stage theater kind of way, but the costumes are very amateur. But for the time, once again.
Come on. You're first. Come on.
Ollie.
And you can check for this in this scene. Bloop! In a Laurel and Hardy tradition, this happened in a lot of their films. People would be sprayed with water, but both Barnaby and King Cole are soaked with water, thrown from buckets off screen in the dunking scene. Whereas now we saw on the proclamation the ducking scene. So apparently, instead of being dunked, it's ducked. Or maybe they just meant to write fucked, but it was fixed on their phone. It was autocorrect. Yeah, he's dying. Jump in there. Bo Peep sucks. She's a beautiful girl, but she loses her sheep, as we found out, 5 times a month, and then everyone else in town has to go and get it, go and find them and collect them. And then here, her brother or whoever this person is dying. There's the other shot of the water. Is dying, and no one's jumping in, including her, to try to get him out of there. Like, what's Laurel doing? Get out of there. That is insanity.
How do you feel?
Here, have a cup of water.
Here, have a drink of water. Thank you.
That's the stuff. That's the stuff they're good at.
I want you all to meet the future Mrs. Silas Barnaby.
Ugh.
You may go.
Thank you, sir.
Does that mean we're free? Yes.
See, that's the
And from
heel
now
that
on,
should have been
you
there
and
the
I are
entire
going to be
time.
Very close.
The
friends.
guy who's gonna basically
mean
were
that
to
he
assume
doesn't
that
have to
eventually
be
he's gonna be raping her, right? Because he wants her to be his wife. They're gonna get married against her will, even though it's
that. And I
not
don't
against
have
the
to
will,
get
because
wet. Oh, is that
and then
so?
they have to consummate. He obviously would want children or something, right? That's the heel, not the I want money because you owe me money because I'm your landlord.
Here's your watch. Come, let's waste no time. Have you the ring?
A little bit of sad note, of course, but I want to tell you. I mean, it's their movie. It's Laurel and Hardy, you know.
Is Little Bo Peep.
Oliver Hardy suffered several strokes towards the end of his life. The final, which put him in a coma, where he died of cerebral thrombosis on August 7th, 1957. One of the best of all time. Back then, there was a lot of great comedy duos. Obviously, Laurel and Hardy. Obviously, Abbott and Costello. Love Abbott and Costello, like when they join the Universal Monsters and do Meet Frankenstein and Meet the Wolfman and all that stuff. It's great. I've been watching a lot of black and white lately. I actually was talking on the Mike Durband show with Mike Durband about with him and Hughley about House on Haunted Hill with Vincent Price. Watched that not too long ago, courtesy of Joe Bob Briggs.
Now you may kiss the bride.
Ah, they got him. He got the mortgage ripped up already.
What is the meaning of this?
Big baby catches big rat.
These movies are just old movies are just so comfortable to watch. To me, forget what Sid. My wife's earlier today said I was telling her that I was doing this or whatever, and she said that it made her nauseous. I believe like this movie made her nauseous. And I don't know too many black and white movies that Sydney, like, I don't think she liked Casablanca, one of my favorites of all time. She likes Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Love that movie. I love Psycho. I love, I mean, there's so many out there that are so good.
What do you mean, goodbye?
But anyway, I just, they just don't make movies like this anymore.
Stay here with Barnaby.
Wasn't that huge on Little Shop of Horrors, but everyone's telling me to check out the 80s one, which I haven't seen, believe it or not, being an 80s, 90s guy. Haven't seen that. And
I don't want to stay here with him.
Why?
but you're married to him.
I don't love him. Oh. If he ever sees-
Well, don't worry. Old Barnaby will never bother us again. Because I'm going to take you away.
Oh, there's somewhere outside of Toyland? Ugh. This is my least favorite part of the movie is whenever Tom Piper sings. It's Toyland exists just on Earth. I heard Granada. So it's like Toyland outside of like Boise. Like where is Toyland? They just see Barnaby, and it's like midnight. These pigs just dance and play music outside their house. I'd be so aggravated if I was their neighbor.
Great big mount hair all over their body. And long and
We talked about Hardy. We got to talk about Laurel. Minutes before his death, Laurel told his nurse that he wouldn't mind going skiing. The nurse replied that she didn't know he was a skier, and he said, "I'm not. I'd just rather be doing that than this." So, comedy till the last minute with Stan Laurel.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
How can you say that?
Oh yeah.
Watch that until I come back.
Why am I not remembering this? He eats it, and it's not pork sausage. He eats it, so he thinks it's one of the three little pigs. How twisted is that? Oh my God. How the hell could you do that? I know it's a pig. I'll eat a pig. But they're not like human-like and hang out in town and have their own dwellings.
Sausage is part of the evidence.
They're going to send him to Bogeyland. I didn't steal a pig. Okay, so once again, there was the exit to Toyland. Their exit to Toyland goes into a cavernous bog. And then they just chuck it, and it took how long to get there? What was that? A second? They found him.
Mr. Majesty, Tom is innocent. We found little Elma in Barnaby's cellar.
So you were in Barnaby's house without permission?
I'll give 50,000 guineas for the capture of that scoundrel, dead or alive.
50,000 Italians.
Dead or alive.
Can't you make up?
I knew he had something to do with this. Oh, if I ever get my hands on him.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
I'll bet anyone would be shaking in their boots by a dude in tights who looks like he's like 5'2", 130 pounds, soaking wet.
Come on.
Like he's the same size as her.
Did he come up?
No. Are you coming up?
You better come up, dead or alive.
Now, how can he come up dead when he's alive?
Let's drop a rock on him, then we'll make him dead when he's alive.
Now you're talking sense.
Oh, so good. Laurel.
Look out! Don't tell him to look out. That's what I want.
That's so funny. Look out.
Not a sound. I must have got him. Do you mean to tell me that you're going to let 50,000 guineas slip right through your...
See, they are talking shit about Italians.
Well, there's nothing to be afraid of.
This is when he calls the boogeyman or the bogeyman. Yeah, here they come. I'll tell you, that scared me as a kid. It worked. Damn. And but here's the thing. How did Barnaby get control of the boogeyman? You'd assume they were all just wild creatures. Like, it's not like throughout the movie they set it up where, you know, Barnaby would be gone one day. People are like, oh, where's Barnaby? You know, it's hard to not find him in a town this small. And that's where you do the callback to the fact that he was training or whatever, gaining the trust of the boogeymen. Dun-dun, dun-dun, dun-dun. The soundtrack is pretty good to this movie. I mean, aside from the stealing of Big Bad Wolf from Walt Disney, but once again, those dudes were friends, so Walt didn't care. And this isn't, he's doing that. Look at that. One after another. So oh, there it is. He's just golfing him at this point. That is, imagine being a kid and seeing that thing coming through your window. Oh, of course I have a fact for you. The stop motion used in this toy soldier scene is used of 100 wooden toy soldiers, each one 1 foot high, and only one is known to exist today of all 100 that were used for the film, and is owned by a Laurel and Hardy historian. That sucks. Because imagine if there was like a few available. I mean, that would be something to have. But yep, the only one left. A Laurel and Hardy historian. But you know what? I'm glad that a Laurel and Hardy historian has the only one left, because it could be in someone's basement and the basement could get flooded or whatever. This is a guy probably got it nicely detailed and cleaned up, and it's in a display case, and I respect that. They saved the town. Head completely off. That's cool. I love how these large toy soldiers that they built for Santa Claus. So, okay, let's say Santa did order 100 soldiers at 6 foot high and took these and delivered them to his kids. So the kid touches the button in the back, and the soldier what? Starts attacking the first person they see, or there it is, folks. I am so happy that I got to do that. I hope you enjoyed all the little pop-up video facts that I had for you. I hope you enjoyed this live stream. If you can, go over to the Midnight Jury YouTube channel and check out what Cal and I did last week. But like I said, normal shows, normal Midnight Juries will continue on WLWstudios.com any day now. I could release our latest episode on Fred Savage's The Wizard, the video game movie with Christian Slater. You hardly even remember Christian Slater was in that movie. But you always remember that Mario 3 was in it, don't you? But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I had a great time. I don't know if there's anything left to say. I think that's about it here from WLW Studios North on the Getting Chilly Long Island Sound. I am your 21st century broadcasting marvel, Midnight Mike, and this was the Midnight Mike Show Theater, 1934's March of the Wooden Soldiers. I can't wait to see you next time.